shoot. Being centered does matter because, alright, this is the part I'm not going to recommend you do. Actually, there's no instructions. You just figure it out on your own. Pretty self-explanatory here. You just screw them in there. Pull the compressor. That's the intro scene right there. That was bad. So this here bracket for a Cherokee, it's the fan hub, the AC compressor sits right here. That's about it. But this thing is very freaking valuable because you can't buy it no more. Well, actually, I got a website. I do sell them, but I'm going to run out. But I'll elaborate on that more towards the end if you care. Not trying to advertise. But you can see this one here, Rust Belt Cherokee, which I'm pretty sure that's very common with Cherokees. The bolts broke off. And I live in southern Tennessee, so if this is happening down here, which I'm sure they're from up north, but this is probably very common, so this part is still good. This is the basically irreplaceable bearing. There's somebody going to comment that they've done it, but most people don't want to get into that. So this bracket is savable. I've actually never did this, but I know that it's possible. I've done it. Something else very common on Cherokee. I ain't even done that video yet. I'll get a better picture tomorrow. It's just called well, they call them fix-a-thread. Some people call them Healy coils, whatever. It's pretty simple. Drill it out, and then you'll drill it to the specified size on the new tap, and then you'll get a what's called Healy coil, or whatever you want to call it, and it's basically just new threads. There's no way I can zoom in on that, but it'll thread in. It comes with this tool right here, and you can see there's a little catch right there. You sit there and screw it in till you get satisfied with it, and it'll catch your new threads that you've made. And then the little centerpiece here, you'll pull this back off there. It's supposed to be a certain way. I ain't figured it out yet, but we'll just break that little piece off, and then you've got new threads. They're actually stronger than the threads you had before, so I can just screw it in there and break it off. Anyway, let's get started. I won't hold you up. What I'm going to do is go cut these off with a grinder, and then I'm going to grind them flat, and then we'll use a center punch and drill them out, and we're going to be going way bigger than the bolt. So even if you get a little off center, I don't think it's, I mean, it's not ideal, but don't be scared to try this. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. You can get these at the local parts store. So that, a drill, and that tool is basically all you need. So if you're at home and want to try this, this is already garbage to you. So what have you got to lose? Let's cut it off. All right, so just cut off grinder. I'm gonna get right above the head of it, or the base of it. Now just get you a rock or a flappy paddle or whatever you decide to do. I'm just gonna go till like the aluminum starts getting polished off. That way it's kind of flat. So you can see it looks much better. It's still broke, but now we've got the exact bolt so we can find close to center. And like I said, technically it should be dead center, but if you get off just a fudge, you can enlarge like the AC compressor hole. You'll be fine. On the square body Cherokee like this, the XJ only, it's this bracket right here. And like this one, you can already tell the bolts broke off in it, and then your fan is actually what rides on that spinny bearing. Technically a ZJ or everything else has the same bracket, just doesn't have that fan hub, so they're not as valuable. But I guess I can put them on the website too. I'll fix that. So next I'm gonna get a center punch when I find one. It's pretty sharp. And then I don't guess this step is actually mandatory, but it just helps you get in the dead center. So find what you would think is the dead center of the bolt. Put you a really good indentation. Yeah. So that's that. Now, I wish I could put it in the drill press, but I've just looked at it. I don't see a good way to, no, it's just too awkward. So I'm probably gonna lay it 90 degrees this way so I can kind of bubble up, level up, and then push on it. And we'll start out with a smaller bit. Yeah, that should be easier to drill that way. So now we're ready to drill, and we're going to start out with a pilot hole. But if you look on the helicoil tap that comes with it, no way to get the camera in there. But it uses a 21/64 drill bit. That's what I had, like a cheap kit from Harbor Freight. It didn't have it, so I've got, not necessarily that you need an expensive kit, you just need one that has all the sizes. So we'll start out with a cheap bit. Cutting oil wouldn't hurt nothing. See what happens. I got a 3/16, just a common size in case I break it. And like I said, I've never actually done this. Just kind of knew the concept. So when you start, if you need to make some corrections as far as center, you can kind of walk around there. But I feel like most people know how to use a drill bit. Oddly enough, bolts usually drill really easy. I don't understand why, but I'm not complaining. This stuff's just gonna go away. Broke through the bolt, bunch of rust come out. I'm gonna turn the camera, well, I'll leave it on, but I'm gonna drill the bottom out and then we'll step up a bit size. So now we are through with our 3/16. Tell you what, let me see how big a 21/64 looks. I think that's what it said. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go through it. It ain't that big. I did get off just a fuzz, but ain't nothing I can do about it now. Now we can fill the hole up with this stuff. Drill on low. Shoot. Being centered does matter because it's trying to walk off the steel and go to the aluminum. Let's just step up with a little bit bigger to a quarter. So it's kind of hard to tell, but my hole was a little bit off somehow, and you can see it's trying to walk over here to the aluminum. So I'm gonna get a quarter and see if we can get us a bigger pilot hole. Even that one got off a little bit. Trying to get back in the hole. Go ahead and knock this one out too. Alright, at this point we just got to go for it. Thought it'd go a little smoother, but maybe it'll work. Try the bottom one first. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way through. Not a have to, but that way if something happens you need to get on the back side. This one won't be able to. It's got like a little ridge right there. I kind of aimed up when I started and then kind of walked back up trying to get it center of the hole. I'll try again. I just didn't know. Didn't foresee this being hard to get centered. There's still a piece of the bolt. I was really hoping this would work better. Probably have to turn up where the light can see, but there's still like a little piece hanging up right there. Let's get a chisel, see if we can knock it off. Got my center punch back out, my oversized hammer. Let's see if we can knock the bolt out. Moved it. That one fell through. This one, well, it moves, so it'll probably fall out. So let's knock it out and see. Yep. Well, at this point, it doesn't matter. We're going to go for it, so let's go for it. Alright, this is the part I'm not going to recommend you do, is I've got a socket that randomly fit hammered on it because I use this quite often. So give it some kind of lubrication and an impact gun. That'll get people commenting. You can tell that should have been harder, but the piece of the bolt left over kind of screwed our whole plan up. Oh no, still pretty good thread. Cover your ears. So they're not pretty, but we're gonna see if they'll work. Yeah, they're too shiny for my camera, but we got threads. Let's see if it'll work. All right, this step is kind of something I've created. Why do I have two in my hand? Anyways, I feel like you should thread lock this to this so it doesn't move on you. It doesn't tell you that in the instructions, I don't think. Actually, there's no instructions. You just figure it out on your own. So we'll put a little dab. Actually, we'll put it here, let it run down. That way, for some odd reason, the bolt doesn't try to wiggle the Healy coil back out, the new threads. It's pretty self-explanatory here. You just screw them in there. I'm gonna go down a little past the surface. I think the hole was a little trued up better down there. Same thing here. Make sure you're centered because I don't think you can back up once you start. Yeah, so again, I don't know how. What if you just run the bolt through there? At this point, I feel like there's a way you break that tab off. I've just never had success out of doing anything I do. I'm just gonna try to run the bolt in. So let's just see. Now we have new threads, and it's gonna hit that thing. See if they'll just break it off themselves. I think so. A little lubrication there. Pretty sure everybody tells me is you hit it with a little chisel and it breaks off, but every time I do it, it just starts pulling the whole springy thing, the Healy coil, through there. Oh no. Oh, we're good. I think that's why a lot of people like me, because I'm not fake and like trying to be really professional. I'm actually being how you probably would be at home. So let's get a compressor and see if we can bolt a compressor back on this bracket. It did kind of gall the threads up when I tried to break that off, just being honest, so might want to research how you do that better. Luckily, if you know me, I have an excess of bolts. Alright, let me get a compressor, take this bolt, throw it in the garbage, and we'll see if we can make it work. Alright, kind of out of breath, I had to run down the hill. So, what I was saying is, they did get a little bit off. Let's start these first. Because, I don't know if you ever paid attention, the hole is like way bigger than it needs to be. No, that's good. We're good, we're good. It's like I've done this before, but I haven't, I promise you. So even now it's still got wiggle room. This is a tiny gun. Ta-da! 12-volt gun. Oh, and also I do sell a shirt that says like I'm a hack job because I keep getting made fun of. But I'm helping a lot of people out that are looking for information like this. If you get so far off that it won't line up, don't freak out. Like I said, use the 2 or 3 or 1 existing hole to pilot it, center it, I guess would be the word. And like a pink Jeep I had years ago, doesn't change the story. The balancer got stuck on the keyway and was like stuck out like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. So I took and scooted all the pulleys forward, including the AC compressor. I drilled these out to like a massive hole, pulled the compressor. Oh, that was about bad. That's the intro scene right there. So I pulled the compressor all the way forward and then clamped it down. Worked fine for years, so don't freak out. Oh man, it's like brand new. So yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. This is the quickest YouTube video I've ever made in the history that I've been doing it. I think that was just hard because I run dirt in there with them. That was bad. But yes, I do sell these on the website. Right now, I have a slew of them, but they're going to start trickling down. So right now, they're $125. Some people's going to freak out. If you've looked on eBay, you'll realize that's cheap because you actually cannot buy this new, and they're starting to get to where you can't find them used. So again, video like this costs me money because if you didn't know you could do this, you would have just went over to my website and bought one. But I'm trying to help people out that possibly can't afford one. But if you don't feel like doing this, there you go. So shoot, that's it. Appreciate it. Have a good day. I do also sell these bolts too. They're on the website. I'm pretty sure if not, by the time you see this, they will be. Along with a whole drawer full of specific bolts and all sorts of stuff. So if you need anything, check it out.